Excuse me. Excuse me, this is my seat. Hello. No girl, this is my show. This video is completely unplanned. I literally just sat down and decided, you know what? This feels like the right thing to do. And so I'm just going with it. I was initially going to launch my first collection in my August vlog and talk about it for like a minute max, like a little sponsored mention from my own brand. But I don't know, the moment I sat down in this chair, I was like, wait, I want to talk about this collection for like a full-on hour and be unapologetically proud of this collection. And my fear is that no one's gonna be interested. If that's the worst case scenario, then I'm fine with that. First of all, I wanted to share with you my entire first collection called Blank Canvas. There's a lot of explaining I need to do. At the same time, I want to share with you guys my imperfectionist journey, okay? Imperfectionist. Where to begin? I first want to share with you the story of how my brand began. Growing up, I always wanted to start my own business of any sort. It was kind of my dream to open up an Etsy shop when I was in junior high school. That was the first dream job I ever had in mind, was to be an Etsy shop owner. I thought it was just so cool to have your own little online boutique and sell your handmade crafts. I remember I did a whole school project on being an Etsy shop owner. My second dream job was to be a YouTuber, and I literally never thought that would happen, but here I am. Fast forward, I did the second thing. I became a full-time YouTuber. I also wanted to finally release my own merch. I had companies reaching out to me wanting to work with me to release my merch with them. That got me thinking, you know what? I kind of want to have my own shop, my own space where I create the designs, I choose the blank tees, I have full control over the quality, the customization, everything. And that's kind of how Kind was born. This is the part of the video that I need to explain myself a bit. This first collection is actually what I'm referring to as collection number 0 because it is a pre-launch sample sale, meaning I dreamt up this collection years back in 2017, and this was before my idea of what Kind was gonna be evolved to what it is now. This blank canvas collection, I was actually going to completely scratch and not even release it because the brand Kind itself has changed so much from the beginning. But I realized that this collection is still so special to me. And the story behind this collection is something that I still really resonate with, and I think others can resonate with. So I wanted to release it in a way that was very personal and still kind of like my merch. So I did create my personal blog where I'm going to be housing these items, but in the future when I officially launch Kind, it's going to be on its separate online home, not on my blog. This collection is as personal as it's going to get with my brand. This is the only time I will be the face of the collection. I'm excited for you guys to see the progression and see what's coming next because this is truly just the start. So when the first official collection of Kind launches, I will speak more on what Kind is about as a brand. In this video, I'm just going to purely focus on blank canvas. The reason why I decided to go with a blank canvas theme for this collection is because starting a new business and a new brand felt so much like starting on a blank canvas because it was completely new territory for me. I was equally so scared, but like every single moment of starting this brand was so exciting for me. I'd just be in my room on my laptop, ideating and researching and figuring everything out for the first time. And the beginning stages of starting something new, there's like a certain type of euphoria I can't describe, but that's my favorite feeling ever actually, is being able to get excited about starting on a blank canvas. So with that introduction, I just wanted to show you guys the collection. As you might expect with a blank canvas theme, I decided, you know, I really want to have a blank canvas pad in this collection. Yes, ooh, I'm so excited, you guys. So as you can see, it has the silver embossing on there and it says blank canvas. This notebook is a really good size, kind of like a moleskin. I got the thickest density paper that I could for this journal, so if you wanted to, you know, glue things on, create a collage, have a whole Mod Podge, every single page is a blank canvas. You could do whatever you want in here. It's 92 pages of Blankness. When you get this, you'll get a sleeve with some instructions on how to life art journal. I took a whole extreme art journaling class in middle school, and I was so inspired by that art teacher because she introduced a new style of art that I never knew of before. I wish I could show you an example of my first ever extreme art journal, or maybe I can make a whole separate video on how to extreme art journal. That was kind of the inspiration behind this. Is I imagined it to be anything and everything from scrapbooking, journaling, documenting. You could use it as a sketchbook, you could paint on here, whatever sort of medium you like, coffee, glitter, cream. This is how you're gonna get it. And this is how thick it can get. Actually, I didn't even finish the end pages, so this could get even thicker. This is my journal that I filled up specifically for my wedding. I stuck like Polaroids in here. I have a whole page for the color swatches and flower inspiration. Like, I went ham in this. This is just jam-packed and it makes me so happy. Can I even close this? It looks like an accordion. This is the one I had for 2019 when I did the Polaroid challenge. Is there an earthquake just now? Oh my goodness. I started on like 5 different journals of these and I kind of use them for different purposes, or you could just have everything in one journal. And since we're on the topic of stationery, I thought I'd move on to my next item, which are my vintage label makers. If you'd seen my videos, you know that I just love using label makers to streamline any item that I own in my home. Whenever I get a new product, if I can, I will remove the original sticky label and I'll place my own label so that everything can look cohesive. For example, I move all of my superfood toppings into a jar and then I add the label. And something about hand embossing your own labels feels kind of nostalgic and takes me back to this time of slower paced living. I love engaging in any sort of home activities that slow things down and make me just appreciate the present moment. Just keep in mind that these are vintage, so they are AKA older. Even the new label makers I buy, you do need to enforce some elbow grease for it to really crunch down and emboss those letters. And the roll of tape that's included in here is just what I initially got when I bought them, but you can buy those online or on Amazon, and every single one is a little bit unique. And so that's just something to keep in mind for what to expect, and hopefully they don't disappoint because I love every single one of these. I want to keep them to myself, but don't expect perfection, you know what I'm saying? That's why I hesitate to sell these, because they're not a brand new item. They are refurbished, so I made sure to clean them to the best of my ability, test every single one of them to make sure they're working. But just as the new ones go, they can misalign kind of easily, so you'll just have to work with it. And that's the one thing I was scared of when adding this to the collection. But you know what? I'd rather have these on there than not. I love anything that just reminds me of past times. And these come in a variety of colors, basically all the colors of the rainbow you could think of, but they are in limited stock, so get them quick. Oh my goodness, girl. I guess moving on to the teas. There are 2 teas in this collection. Both are white. This one that I'm wearing is obviously the first tee, if you couldn't guess already. And I say quote unquote white because it's not truly white. It's made of a combination of fabrics, so it's called a melange effect. When you're just looking at it first glance, it does look white, but to me, it's slightly off-white. I describe it as an ultra pale mint. It's a smidge off-white tea, like a smidge of pure perfect white, you know what I'm saying? The main graphic on this tee is this text that says imperfectionist. Sometimes you just need a simple graphic tee to throw on. Right now I'm wearing a size large, which is actually my husband's, but I really like just throwing on oversized tees just to lounge around and be comfortable. But if I wanted more of a fitted look, I do wear the extra small for that. And I will be talking a little bit more on being an imperfectionist in a bit and my journey to being an imperfectionist after I show you guys everything in this collection, which I feel like is taking a while, but we'll get there. The second tee in this collection is called the Stain Tee, and I'm so proud of this one. I designed both these tees myself. This one ironically has a stain on here. I think that's like a makeup stain, and it comes with its own little label. Can you tell that this shirt is a little bit more minty than this one? It's so hard to tell, but this is just a pure white with stains. Ba-bam! It's one of those shirts where you might be like, who in their right mind would want to wear this? But hey, that's me. This one is actually a pocket tee, if you couldn't notice. So there's a blue pen ink stain on there. This is kind of like the sample tee of stain removing commercials. This is before they remove the stain. This is what you don't want, but I just kind of wanted to make a tee that says, hey, embrace the stains. It's okay if you try something, it's okay to have fun, and it's okay if you fail, and it's okay if you make a little bit of a mess. This is the only tee that you could wear where it's okay if you get more stains on this, because it's already got a bunch of stains on it. And this tee was actually inspired by my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband. But when we first started dating, he would wear a lot of white tees, and I'd lean against him with my makeup, and my makeup would always smudge and get on his white tee. And from there, it just sparked the idea to create a tee that just had the stains already, so you don't have to worry about getting more stains. And for the very last item in this blank canvas collection, I really wanted to have a jewelry piece, and I wanted this jewelry piece to serve as a reminder. So this is the Be Kind bracelet cuff, and on the back side of each bracelet, there's a hidden little message that says no matter what. The reason why I put no matter what is because you want to be kind when it's convenient to be kind, and the harder thing to do is when you really don't want to be kind. To me, it's a good reminder to be kind no matter what, unconditionally, whoever it is, no matter what person you're dealing with, no matter what mood you're in, or no matter what mood they're in. Everyone always says it, but the world could always use a little bit more kindness, and sometimes it really just starts with the little things. There's two different sizes. This is the 3mm one, which is a little bit thinner and daintier, and then there's the 5mm one, which is thicker. My husband always wears the black Be Kind one. He actually wore this on our wedding day, which I didn't even know that until I saw the photos after, but my personal favorite one is the one I'm wearing, and it's the rainbow titanium color. It's a little bit more childish, but I don't know, I like it, it's special. And I wore this one all throughout my traveling in Denmark. I think several of you guys asked where it's from. And then we got the classic silver one in both sizes. We got a blue one in the thicker band. The thinner 3mm bands come in 3 kinds: the silver, gold, and rose gold. Yeah, so that is the whole entire blank canvas collection. Oh, and the first 100 orders will be getting a special little free gift. I want to keep that one a surprise, but I'm actually really proud of this one, and I could be selling it as a separate item, but I don't know, I kind of just wanted to give it away. I changed my camera because my other camera battery is dead now, but now that I showed you guys the collection, I wanted to get a little bit serious, get a little bit real, and talk about my personal struggles. Exciting! Where do I begin all of this? Without sharing my entire life story, I guess I'll just fast forward to the part where I decided to become a full-time YouTuber. This was after I dropped out of art school majoring in film, and I decided that YouTube was the path for me. The moment I decided to really go full force with YouTube, I knew that I had a duty to prove to people, maybe my parents, maybe my peers, I had this pressure to prove to people that my decision wasn't foolish, that being a YouTuber is a valid career. There's a lot more factors into how my mindset came to what it is, but it took me a good time, and even now I'm still processing just how much of an impact being a YouTuber had on me, and how much being a YouTuber affected how I view my self-worth, and how I let YouTube and whatever results I got being a YouTuber, and depending on what kind of person I was online, I kind of let that define my identity. And it's been an incredibly long, confusing journey of trying to disassociate me as a person versus me on the internet. I don't want to focus so much on being a YouTuber, but I feel like even if I was plopped into any other career, I would have some issue with not feeling like I'd be good enough until I reach some standard of perfection. So I don't want to blame YouTube, but YouTube just happens to be the world that I live in and work in. That pressure to prove myself to people never faded away. Like it still exists to this day. Whenever anyone asks me what I do or how I'm doing with the YouTube thing, I always have this feeling of like, you know, it's just happening. It just keeps going. And I never felt proud to be a YouTuber. Oh, that's so weird saying that out loud. Yeah, no, we're not going there. I always have this constant feeling of never being where I actually want to be, and so I always feel so behind. It's like I'm playing catch up constantly, and therefore I could never just sit and be happy and proud of myself. Which actually is pretty funny because that's what I decided to do today. I decided to just sit down and be proud of myself for something I worked really hard on. Which is so funny because up until this moment, I just had this voice in my head that kept saying like, I'm so over this collection, until I actually started sharing it, and now I'm just so excited to deliver these items to your home and for you guys to enjoy it. If anyone can relate with me on this, I think especially with my job and my position as an influencer, I somehow conditioned myself to believe over the years that if I can just be super pretty, super skinny, have the perfect personality, and have perfect video editing, whatever, then I will get the views, I will get the subscribers, I will have everything that I want to be happy. And subconsciously, I just continue to drill that in my brain. And I think whether or not this is my job, I think somehow just being on social media, I would be scrolling through Instagram, seeing people live their dream lives, and think to myself like, wow, if I could just have this, and this, I will be so happy. And the thing is, I need to set this coffee down. And the thing is, that is total bullcrap. You're chasing and striving after the win will never end, okay? You'll always want more. You'll never be content. You'll never be satisfied hitting that next goal. There will always be another thing. And that's just a lesson I learn again and again, but each time I get a little bit better. And to me, a perfectionist is someone who cares deeply of reaching a level of perfection, a level of greatness. And for a while, I denied that I was a perfectionist because many times I don't care about everything to a 1000% needs to be done perfectly. Even my videos, I don't care to reach 100% perfection because obviously I know that's impossible and I could only do the best I can do, but I still have this really high standard and really high expectations of the results and the outcomes and the responses, and a lot of my validation comes from the results. An imperfectionist, on the other hand, is someone who is uninterested in perfection, someone who could not care less about perfection because perfection isn't the end goal. It really doesn't matter. What the imperfectionist focuses on is actually the gifts of imperfection. And that's not to say that having a high standard is bad. I think that's actually one of my greatest qualities, but that mindset can get really toxic real quick. At the root of me being a perfectionist is someone who just is really scared of what people think of me. And I really fear the outcome being out of my control and people not accepting me for who I am. I'm actually reading Ecclesiastes right now, and it's a book of the Bible that I didn't realize how much spoke to me, but if you haven't read it already, even if you're not Christian, I think it's an interesting read. I'll link below the Bible Project videos to preface before you read Ecclesiastes. It speaks a lot about the unhappiness and meaninglessness in life without God. My imperfections, all of my sins, all of my weaknesses are fully embraced by God, and He loves me regardless. Last year, I kind of mentioned it, but I actually had 7 therapy sessions. The main thing that I got out of my therapy sessions is that at the core of everything, at the core of all of my aching and hurt, is this lie that I am not good enough and I have to be really good. Like really good. If I'm not really good, then I won't have happiness. But in fact, it's the chasing after that really good that made me so unhappy. So my therapist actually gave me a challenge. She gave me a little activity, if you will, which I wanted to share because this is kind of a valuable thing that I got out of therapy. It's back to school season and I went to Target and I bought like the whole colorful pack of post-it notes. I got so excited. Anyway, that's me just being super extra. All you need is a piece of paper, or find your own unique way of doing this. But on that piece of paper, she told me to write down my truths. She actually had another piece of paper where I circled how I'm feeling and then circled the actual truths. And on the post-it note, I wrote down my truths. And she told me every single day, sit down and read these truths out loud to yourself and really try to believe them. And it seems like a cheesy little practice to do, but you'd be surprised the power in saying something out loud, saying a truth out loud and actually meaning it and then believing it. And with that truth, you just kind of flick out the lie, and all of a sudden you just feel a weight lifted off yourself because you're no longer bogged down by these stupid, unnecessary lies. I think with all of that being said, because this video is getting way too long, as far as where I'm at now, I actually listened to the book The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown. I listened to it on Audible. She mentions, I believe, 10 different gifts of imperfection, which I'm not gonna go over today. A few of the things that stood out to me was the power of play and just doing things out of sheer enjoyment without having to make a profit out of it and having to impress people and show it off to people on social media or any of that, just playing for the sake of play's sake. And she also talked about cultivating a resilient spirit. This is so important for anyone who easily gives up after failing once or twice or 3 times. Having a resilient spirit is about not letting those moments of failure eat you alive and to just get back up. If you fall down, just get back up and keep going, keep moving forward. Expect failure to happen because it's natural. Unless you have some like God-given genius abilities to just be great off the get-go, you have to expect to put in your 10,000 hours of trying and failing and trying and failing. I think that's all I'm going to say for today. Please check out my website, kristu.com, for more info. You could check around the shop page to view all the products in the Blankanvas collection. As you can probably tell, I'm someone who's still on the journey. I'm still learning a lot about my weaknesses and my struggles. If you have any words of wisdom that you want to share, please do so in the comment section below. I really want the comment section to just be a happy, encouraging place. If you want to stay tuned for what's coming up next on Kind, follow the Kind Instagram at kind.label. I'm incredibly excited for what's to come next. Y'all don't even know, okay? But this collection is a little bit of a tease. All right, guys, I think it's time for me to go. If you've made it this far into this video, I just want to give you a big hug right now. The other folks, they missed out on this. This is intimate. Come here. Thank you, guys. You guys mean the world to me. I will see you guys soon in my next video. And also, if you made it this far into this video, comment below. I'm brain farting, but I'll leave a little comment. Comment that. All right, peace, guys. Bye.